Hello! If you're watching this, then you probably remember the banger of a game that is Battleblock Theater, also known as the only Behemoth game I have not made a video on. This is my spiritual successor to my How Is That Deer Still Alive video, so I'd recommend watching that as well. But, speaking of Battleblock Theater, let's talk about a certain move that you can do that can reset your position if you're stuck somewhere. The famed fart. Yes, you, the player, literally fart so hard that you explode. That in theory is absolutely terrifyingly hilarious. So now we're gonna find out how this would work scientifically. And you should subscribe, because I had to do way too much research on farting for this video. So, what causes a fart? Well, the obvious answer is gas inside of you comes out of your asshole. But how does that gas get there? Well, it's typically caused from sucking in too much air and produced from digesting food in your gut. Now, personally, I'd like to think that this humonga fart isn't from the food in his tummy, or else he'd be looking a little different. So, for the rest of the explanation as to how this little dude is farting so hard, we're gonna go with sucking in too much air. Now, how much air does this little man have to be swallowing in order to build up enough pressure to fart to death? Well, let's start with figuring out how much pressure it would take to pop a human. Which, after having a very funny conversation about this with my old physics professor, this really isn't that hard to figure out. Because as seen in what happens when you hit someone with a grenade in Battleblock Theater, the suicide fart is about the exact same amount of pressure as a grenade going off inside of them. This is even further backed up by the lack of bones in comparison, because since they're getting exploded from the inside, the bones are going to be the first thing that gets evaporated. But there's a problem. Simply swallowing this much air would not cause such an aggressive pop like originally assumed. So, what could cause such an aggressive explosion? Well, farts contain a small amount of hydrogen and methane. I think you can see where this is going. Approximately 7% of a human fart is methane. So theoretically, if these little dudes farted enough, they could explode from the pure amount of methane. But there's an issue with that. For someone to fart so much that the fart itself explodes, they might as well be dead from many other factors. But there's a clear answer to this. These things aren't human. Humans are canon in the Behemoth universe. This is a human. Not this, not this, not this, and not this. So it's clear that these little dudes don't fart like humans. It's obvious that they fart pure methane. Which also makes sense, because since methane is lighter than air, it would be even harder to fart it out because it would want to just chill up inside of you. Which explains the violent grunting and shaking that the Battleblock dudes are doing before they explode. But this then brings me to my final question. How much methane are they farting? Well, assuming that the methane is always mixed with 10 volumes of air, they'd have to be farting around 50,000 milligrams, or 50 liters of methane. For a frame of reference, humans typically fart about a liter of gas per day. These guys are farting 50 times that of straight methane! This is all ignoring the fact that there's a severe lack of fire around them when they explode. But it's the only explanation I can think of! These guys are literal, casual suicide bombers! I'm surprised that they aren't just burping this methane out constantly! It is absolutely insane! But it would also be insane if you subscribed and joined our Discord. I really hope you enjoyed the video. It's been an honor, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.